Hello everyone. I hope you all are fine. Children, do you remember what we have discussed in my last video? We have completed classification of microbes. In classification of microbes, four categories were there. Bacteria, algae, protozoa and not viruses, bacteria, algae, protozoa and fungi. I have involved viruses as well as in my part 1 of this chapter. But I have not involved viruses in the classification of microbes. I have involved viruses in the examples of microorganism because microorganism behave like living organism as well as non-living organism. It has dual personality. Because of this dual personality, children, we cannot take viruses in the classification of microbes, but we can take in the category of examples of microorganism because viruses are too small. We are not able to see those viruses with our naked eye. Because of this characteristic, children, we have taken viruses in the examples of microorganism. Okay, so viruses are exception. Children, microbes are friendly as well as harmful. So in my today's video, we are going to discuss about the friendly nature of microbes, not about harmful microbes. In my next video, I will take harmful microbes in detail. So let's start with today's video, today's lesson. Let's start. Children, microorganism plays an important role in our lives. Some of them are beneficial and in many ways, whereas others are harmful and cause disease. Let's study about them in detail. In this lesson, we are trying to understand actually how microbes behave good role and how they are behaving bad roles in our day-to-day lives. Children, most of you just know microbes are harmful to us. Whenever we are thinking about microbes, children, we are thinking about the negative side only. In our mind, only negative picture automatically prepare. For example, you have heard about bacterial infection. You have heard about viral flu also. So, whenever we close our eyes and we just think about microorganism, a negative picture automatically prepares in your mind, or we can say negative side click on your mind. In this chapter, we are going to discuss about both positive as well as the negative side of microbes. Microorganisms are used for various purposes. They are used in preparation of curd, bread, cake, etc. Even in cleaning also, children. In agriculture, they are used to increase soil fertility by fixing nitrogen. In the field of medicine also, microorganisms are very much useful. Let's discuss in detail. So, in this video, we are going to cover about friendly microbes in different fields. How microbes are behaving friendly in different fields. Let's discuss about that. So, we are talking about friendly microbes. Then, this slide is about how do microbes helps us, in what fields microbes are useful to us, in household products, in industrial products, in waste treatment, in biogas production, in control pest and disease, biofertilizer, decomposers. We are going to discuss about all these topics one by one in brief. First, we talk about how microorganisms are useful in household products. Children, in my last video, I have asked you one question. How curd is formed? Do you ask your mother about this? How actually she is preparing curd in the home? I hope you all have think about this and discuss about this topic with your parents. Let's discuss how actually curd formed. For making curd, children, several microorganisms attack. One of these, bacterium microorganism, that is lactobacillus, is responsible for making curd. Actually, what happens, children? For making curd, what we will do, we take 1 glass of milk and we add half teaspoon of curd, which already we are having curd in the house. From that we take half teaspoon and add in the that full glass of milk. So lactobacillus is a bacterium. What this bacteria do, it multiplies in milk and converts it into the curd. Bacteria are also involved in making cheese, pickles, and many other food items. An important ingredient for making idlis. You all like idlis, children? For making idlis and bhaturas. If we want to make idlis and bhaturas at home, the important ingredient is curd. Can you guess why? Because bacteria and yeast are also helpful for fermentation of rice, idlis and dosa batter. When we try to make that batter for rice, idlis and dosa, in that we need to have fermentation. For adding fermentation in that, we need to add microorganism should attack that batter. Yeast reproduce rapidly and produces carbon dioxide during respiration. Bubbles of the gas fill the dough and increases its volume. This is because of use of yeast only. Yeast is used in baking industry for making breads and cakes and pastries, etc. So we can say that for making things like curd, cake, bread, pastries, we need microorganisms. We can say this now because microorganisms can play a friendly nature to the environment. Not always it behave harmful to the environment, children. Is that clear? So next phase we are having where microorganism is very much useful, that is industrial products. Like in industries, beverages, antibiotics are there. In these two also we need microorganism. Without microorganism, beverages and antibiotics we can't make it. Okay, so microorganisms are used for the large scale production of alcohol. Okay, so in alcohol also we need microorganisms. Children, here is the contradiction. Here is the contradiction. What is contradiction? It means we are having two different things together in this topic. What is that? Antibiotic. When we talk about antibiotics, children, antibiotics is used to cure disease. But why we are using antibiotic? To cure disease. Okay. And at the same time, we are saying that disease are also carried forward with these microorganisms only. So here we are saying that on one hand we are having groups of harmful microbes which are causing disease, and on the other hand we are having groups of friendly microbes which are curing disease by antibiotics. So here is a contradiction that in the field of antibiotics, in the field of medicine, microbes behaving both personality, harmful personality as well as the friendly personality, because when he is showing his um, friendly characteristic, that time it helps us in curing disease, and when it is showing harmful characteristic, that time with the just because of the microorganism we are having disease inside our body. Is that clear, children? Now, microbes have special place in the field of industrial products like antibiotics and beverages. And now we will talk about antibiotics first in detail. Antibiotics are extremely helpful. They help to cure so many diseases. Okay, uh, whenever we fall ill, doctor gives us antibiotics. Doctor gives us antibiotics. Okay, or course of antibiotics to keep. He will sorry. He prescribes us antibiotics for couple of days, maybe for 3 days, for 4 days, or for 5 days. If your fever is cured in 1 or 2 days, children, but your doctor advised you to complete the course. Why? Because antibiotic has full course. If we are leaving that course in between, it means we are not making ourselves cured from internally. Okay, so what is the exact meaning of anti? Anti means against. Anti means against, and biotic means life. So if we say these two words together, against life, it does not mean that we are talking about against life. Its exact meaning is we are we are dealing with bacterial infection. We are dealing with bacterial infection. So we can say that antibiotics are the chemical substance produced by microbes that kill disease causing microbes. Those diseases which are caused by microbes, antibiotics are used to kill those diseases which are caused by microorganisms. Antibiotics are the best example where we can see the negative and the positive characteristic of microbes. Like from microbe infection is there, and from microbes only we are taking care of also. Okay. Now we can say that uh, antibiotic are the best example which represent positive and the negative sides of microbes. Now, second point about antibiotic is it treats bacterial infections. What is the meaning of that? Antibiotics are very specific, children, which the disease caused by bacteria, it only cures those disease. Here I am saying that it treats only bacterial infection, because if person is facing any bacterial infection, then only doctor give antibiotics. If he is facing any viral infection, that time doctor will not prescribe any antibiotics. So antibiotic means any infection just because of bacteria, so only then doctor prescribe antibiotics, not for other inf- other infection which is caused by other microorganism. Okay, now third point about antibiotic is, and Alexander Fleming discovered the first antibiotic, that is penicillin. Now, children, you will be surprised to know that scientist Alexander was not performing experiment to find out any kind of antibiotic. This experiment successful accidentally. He was just doing something else, and he will get the solution of making antibiotics. Okay. Streptomycin, tetracycline, Azithromycin are some of the commonly used antibiotics which are made from fungi and bacteria. The antibiotics are manufactured by growing specific microorganisms and are used to cure variety of disease. Antibiotics are even mixed with feed of livestock and poultry to check the microbial infection in animals also. They are used to control many plant disease also, children. Now, here our next slide about microbes in vaccination. When we talk about medicinal use of microbes, children, we can't ignore vaccination. We can't ignore vaccination. What is vaccination exactly? You would often heard about small children go to doctor for vaccination. So what are these vaccination, children? Vaccination is a process. Vaccination is a process in which vaccine is given to improve the immunity of the body against a specific disease. So when we are talking about antibiotic is given to our body to cure disease, which the disease which are already entered in our body. But vaccination is given to avoid those disease to enter inside our body for improving our immune system. So there is a role of microorganism in preparation of vaccines also, we can say that. So I hope you all are able to understand what is the exact meaning of vaccination. Vaccination is a chemical substance which is added to a human body so that that human being can prevent himself or herself to get fall ill. Okay, disease like smallpox, hepatitis, tuberculosis, okay, can be prevented by vaccination. In your childhood you must have been given injections to protect yourself against several disease, children. Can you prepare a list of these disease, children? This is your home assignment I am providing you. Make a list of those disease which can harm you without vaccination. It is essential to protect all the children against these diseases. Necessary vaccines are available in nearby hospitals. You might have seen the advertisement on TV and in newspaper also, children, regarding protection of children against polio under the Pulse Polio program. Polio drops given to the children are actually a vaccine. I hope you all are able to understand what is vaccination and what are antibiotics. So, um, let's again move back to the industrial use, industrial products in which microorganism playing a major role. So we have already discussed about antibiotics. So let's discuss about beverages now. Now, what are beverages, children? Here beverages are like wine, beer, etc. Here yeast plays an important role in production of various alcoholic drinks, children. Okay, so we can say that microorganisms are used for large scale production of alcohol, wine, beer, etc. Even acetic acid, vinegar, is also made by microorganism only. Is that clear? For this purpose, yeast is grown on natural sugar present in grains like barley, wheat, rice, crushed fruit juices, etc. So we can say here the process of conversion of sugar into alcohol is known as fermentation. So how actually we are making alcohol? We are converting sugar. So the process of conversion of sugar. So when that sugar is getting converted into alcohol, so the whole procedure is called fermentation. So I hope after this you are able to understand how microorganisms play a good role in industrial products. Now I would like to discuss Next is how microorganism is helpful in sewage treatment. Let's discuss about this. Children, sewage means, what is sewage, children? Sewage is unwanted water which has many pollutants which cause air pollution, water pollution. So we need not to enter in this topic in brief, children. To understand, for reducing air pollution and water pollution, we need micro for treating this sewage. No need to there is no need to understand sewage treatment in detail. We need to understand here only that the unwanted water which is present around us, who is creating air pollution, water pollution, we need to cure that by using microorganisms. Okay, so next is microbes are useful in biogas production. How? Biogas is also another friendly gas, children. For producing this gas, we need microbes. Next is control pest and disease. Children, about pest, we have discussed in our first chapter. Pests are the insect which harm crops. So for killing them, microbes are needed. For killing pests, we need microbes. Okay. So next point is microbes are useful in biofertilizer and in decomposer. Children, in our previous chapter we have discussed about fertilizer. What are fertilizer? Fertilizers are the artificial method to give nutrients to the soil so that the humidity of that soil increases. Fertilizers improve the soil fertility, it enriches the soil in useful nutrients. So microorganism, we can say that microorganism helps in enrich of soil. So those microorganisms are called biofertilizers. Microorganisms also break dead and decaying into useful substances so that it helps the environment to get rid of from these dead and decaying plants and animals. So in this way we can say that microorganisms are useful to us, children. Children, you often see large amount of dead organic matter in the form of decaying plants and sometimes dead animals on the ground. You find that they disappear after some time. This is because microorganisms decompose dead organic waste of plants and animals, converting them into a simple substances. These simple substances are again used by other plants and animals. Thus, we can say that microorganisms can be used to degrade the harmful and smelly substances and therefore clean up the environment. So, in this video, we have discussed about how microorganisms actually useful as in different fields. I hope this video is clear to you how microorganisms can behave friendly to us. So in my next video I'm going to discuss about the harmful microorganism, how harmful microorganism can harm us. We will discuss about that in detail. Till then, take care of yourself and thank you.